Hi, I'm Suzanne Noblett, LPGA teaching professional, coming to you from Cedar Creek Golf Club in Leo, Indiana. And today, what I'd like to talk to you about is what's bounce and why do you need it? Or when do you use it? Bounce is the blue line on my golf club. If you take your sand wedge or your 56 degree lofted wedge or your 60 or whatever club you use out of the sand and you hold it like this, you will see a side that's higher. That high side is what we call the bounce. The bounce acts like a rudder on a boat. The rudder on the boat travels through the waves. The bounce on the club travels through the sand and the heavy rough. So, if you have sand that's light and fluffy, kind of like that you'd find on the beach that's not wet but it's dry, you want a club that's got a lot of bounce, because the bounce will come right through and get the club through the sand. So when you do take a shot, you would want to make the blue ink disappear. Okay? Now, what if you're in a bunker that has very little sand, or the sand is wet and it's compacted like a sidewalk and the ground's hard? You don't want a lot of bounce, because if you do use a club with a lot of bounce, what's going to happen is the club's going to come through, the bounce is going to react like it's supposed to, but then the club's going to come up and you're going to wind up hitting the ball in the middle of the ball with the club face, like this, with the leading edge. And that's when we get those low screamers that are flying out like a banshee. All right, so if you're in firm sand or river bottom sand or dirt, you want to use a club that doesn't have a lot of bounce. So that could be your pitching wedge. If you look, you'll notice that if we compare these two, the pitching wedge is much more level across here than this 56 is. Okay, could be a pitching wedge, could be a gap wedge, which would be anywhere from 50 to a 54 degree wedge that you could use to get out. And you want to play it like a normal bunker shot, but without the bounce, you have less chance of blading the ball. Let's take a look. No! That's with no bounce.